Clarence Whitmore had worked at the Rosewood Grand for nearly 27 years. It was the kind of hotel where suits were tailored, perfumes were imported, and everything from the champagne to the carpets whispered luxury. But Clarence didn't belong to that world, he just kept it clean. At 72, Clarence was well past the age most people would expect to find him scrubbing marble floors or polishing brass door handles. He was thin, stooped a little now, and had a cough that never quite went away in the winter. But he needed the work. His pension barely covered rent, and Social Security, well, let's just say it didn't stretch like it used to. He had no family to speak of. His wife, Eloise, had passed nearly 10 years prior, and their only child had moved overseas, sending the occasional card but rarely calling. Most days, Clarence existed in a bubble of silence, mornings spent polishing, afternoons mopping, evenings tightening loose screws in guest rooms where no one knew his name. But Clarence took pride in his work. He believed in dignity. Even invisible jobs deserve excellence, he used to say. And he meant it. It was a Thursday when everything changed. The sky was gray and heavy with the kind of rain that feels like it might last for days. Inside the hotel, business people rushed between meetings, tourists posed for selfies in front of the grand piano in the lobby, and Clarence was just trying to get through his shift. He'd been assigned a last-minute cleanup in one of the top-floor executive suites, a backed-up sink and some spilled room service trays. He loaded up his cart with supplies, plunger, rags, disinfectant, fresh towels, and trash bags. The cart was old and temperamental, and one of the wheels would jam whenever it hit a seam in the floor. The elevator was out of order, again. Maintenance had been working on it for 3 weeks, which meant Clarence had to push the cart up a short flight of stairs leading to the private suite wing. He gave it a go, gritting his teeth, pushing with all the strength his back could muster, but the cart stuck halfway up the incline. He stood there, quietly panting, rainwater from his shoes pooling at the base of the steps. That's when he noticed the man. A guy in a hoodie, jeans, and a baseball cap, walking down the hallway with a carry-on in hand. Not flashy. No entourage. Just another guest, it seemed. "Excuse me, sir," Clarence called out, breathless. "Would you mind giving me a hand with this cart? Just a quick push." The man stopped. Looked at him. "Sure," he said, without hesitation. And just like that, he grabbed the heavy end of the cart and lifted it with ease, like it weighed nothing. They wheeled it up together. At the top, Clarence wiped his forehead with a rag. "Much appreciated," he said with a warm nod. "No problem," the man replied, grinning. Then he walked away. Clarence noticed his calm stride. Confident. Graceful. And something about his face seemed oddly familiar. But he didn't dwell on it. He didn't realize the man he'd just asked for help was Jason Statham. Not until the assistant manager, Maria, came sprinting out of the elevator minutes later, her eyes wide as saucers. "Clarence," she gasped, pointing in the direction the man had walked, "do you have any idea who that was?" Clarence looked confused. "Just a guest?" Maria laughed nervously. "That was Jason Statham." "The Jason Statham?" Clarence blinked. "The action movie fella?" "Yes. The transporter, Snatch, Fast and Furious. He's been staying here under a fake name for the past 3 days. No one was supposed to bother him." Clarence chuckled. "Well, I guess I blew that." But he didn't think much more of it. He finished his shift, clocked out, and caught the 7:05 bus back to his apartment. The next morning, everything changed. He walked into the staff entrance like always, expecting the same slow shuffle toward the janitor's closet, maybe a broken faucet or two. Instead, the hotel general manager was waiting for him, holding an envelope. "This is for you, Clarence." It was thick. He opened it carefully. Inside was a handwritten note. "Clarence, thank you for treating me like a regular person. You didn't ask for anything. You reminded me what humility looks like. Jason." Attached to the note, a check. Clarence's heart stuttered. $50,000. His hands shook. "This has to be a mistake," he whispered. "It's no mistake," the manager said. "Mr. Statham personally handed it in this morning. He insisted we give it directly to you." That wasn't all. By noon, someone had leaked the security footage. Local media picked up the story. Within hours, it had gone viral. Hollywood star helps elderly janitor, then gifts him $50,000 for a simple act of kindness. Clarence's photo was everywhere. Smiling shyly, standing beside his mop. People across the country were posting messages, "You're a legend, Clarence. We need more people like you." True humility is priceless. Jason Statham never publicly commented. He didn't post about it. Didn't tweet. Didn't make a spectacle. He just did something unbelievable and walked away. As for Clarence, he used a bit of the money to finally retire. Bought a used pickup truck and moved to a small town in the hills, where he spent mornings watching the sun rise and afternoons reading paperbacks on a porch swing. But what mattered most to him wasn't the money. Or the sudden attention. It was the moment when someone who had it all, fame, money, global recognition, chose to quietly lift the burden of a man who was never seen, and then made sure he would never be forgotten. Clarence still keeps the note framed in his living room. Not because it came from a celebrity, but because of the words that mattered most. "You reminded me what humility looks like." And that, Clarence often says now with a soft smile, was worth more than the check.